Welcome back, everybody. This is Excel video 452, and I'm Nate Moore. Talked to a group the other day that said, hey, Nate, we want to understand retention in our practice. Go pull all the appointments for the last 120 days and tell us how many of those patients have a future appointment, how many of those patients have a recall appointment, and how many of those patients don't have either one of those. By location, by provider, help us understand retention. If I can look at retention in your practice and make some improvements, I'd love to help you. This is average patients per day by location with error bars that we talked about in the last Excel video. If you don't use error bars but instead chart it, what you can do is say, all right, this is the average and this orange line here is the min and this is the max. I think the error bars make it easier to see this and it's a little more compact, but if you prefer to see it this way, this is another way to see it. What I want to talk today about is an easy Excel video, grid lines. What you can do from grid lines is obviously you can turn them off and not see anything here. And then what you can do is you can choose between primary, major, horizontal, and major vertical. That's what those look like. You can also do minor grid lines. This is what horizontal looks like. And notice I can hover and get vertical grid lines without necessarily clicking on it so I can see what it's going to look like. So you can get horizontal and vertical, primary major, and primary minor grid lines. I guess my comment on this is the only text, the only pixels, the only ink, whatever you want to look at on a chart, the only information I want on a chart is stuff that's really helping me. I think this is probably too much detail for what I'm charting today. What I want to do is make sure I'm only showing what I have to show so that the folks reading my chart will focus on what's important. That's really, I mean, if you click here on more options, there are some things in terms of the type of line. You could make the color go a little more gray, or you could make it a little more transparent. You could change the type of line or the color of the line and that kind of thing. But that's really all the options there are for grid lines. It's easy, on and off, primary, major, and minor, vertical and horizontal. That's what there is to see about grid lines. The other thing I want to show you while I'm at it, since this is such an easy Excel video, we've been playing with this plus chart elements button throughout these Excel 2013 chart videos because it's new. The other way to get this information, and this may be a better way for you, if you click, you got to be inside the chart. If I'm outside the chart, I'm not going to see this. But if I'm inside the chart, I'm going to get Chart Tools, and then there are two tabs here, Design and Format. On the left of the Design tab, Add Chart Elements shows you axes and axis titles, chart titles, data labels. And if you look over here, a lot of those same things are right here. The advantage you may like looking at it here is there's a little graphic display of where the axis titles are, so you can see what we're focusing on here. This orange here is showing me what things are going to look like. And if that helps you see what you're doing as you're getting familiar with this, Add Chart Elements from the Design tab inside the chart will give you similar things to what we had here. That's all I want to talk about with grid lines. Stay tuned. We'll move the legend around in the next Excel video. Thanks for watching.